My boyfriend ruined our first New Year's kiss by screaming that he cheated, so I pretended to forgive him, collected evidence from 8 other women, and exposed him publicly in front of them all at the restaurant where we had our first date. Me and Devin had been together for 2 years, and he was amazing. He was the type to take pictures of me without me asking, to grip my hand extra tight when I walked down the stairs in heels. Of course, no one's relationship is ever perfect, but we were happy together. We were both family people, and agreed that whatever money we saved would be put into our future children. But there was one thing about him that I never talked about in public. When it came to romantic moments, he couldn't follow through on them, whether it was just straight up canceling or joking around until the moment was ruined. I just didn't think it was a good enough reason to end a relationship, so I never thought much of it. Anyway, a few weeks ago was New Year's Eve. We still hadn't shared a New Year's kiss, and it was something that had been on my bucket list for almost my whole life. So when my friend Anna asked if me and Devin wanted to go to New York and celebrate with them, it was a no-brainer, because we were already double dating with them all the time, and it seemed perfect. But Devin didn't see it that way. Babe, really? Kissing in public? His comment made me feel really sad, and I just stared at the ground, not really saying much. And I guess he saw my reaction, because that's when he clarified that he was joking, and he was happy to go. It seemed extremely forced, but I stopped myself from overthinking by telling myself that he had agreed, and that was all that mattered. But in the weeks leading up to it, I only felt worse. When I bought my dress for the occasion and showed it off to him, he just sighed. Babe, you know how I feel about you showing off so much skin in public? I stared at him, because my outfit was literally a full body pantsuit, with some cute heels and a matching coat. But before I could say anything, he continued, maybe going to New York isn't such a good idea after all. Why can't we just do what we usually do? I almost cried right on the spot, because by what we usually do, he meant him hanging out with his party friends, and me staying at home watching the countdown alone on the TV. But when I asked him why he didn't want to go, he got defensive, told me that I was putting words in his mouth, that I was just guilt-tripping him. But that day, even I was too tired for Devin, so I just nodded and waited for him to stop talking. It ended with him still agreeing to go, just much more reluctantly, and as long as I wore something else. The day we were leaving for New York, despite everything, I was a ball of excitement. I had never been to the Big Apple, and it was still me and Devin's first New Year's kiss together. And TBH, I looked bomb. We carpooled with Anna and her BF, and it was so much fun. We all screamed the lyrics to white girl music and talked about our resolutions. Well, all except Devin, who was sitting by the window with his arms crossed and a sulk across his face. And whenever I tried to ask him what was wrong, he would text me to stop talking to him and leave him alone. So I did. I tried to not let it damper my mood, but it was almost impossible. So instead, I told myself that he had motion sickness and didn't want to talk as a result. Luckily, parking was actually easy to find, and everything seemed to be going our way. We dropped our stuff off at the hotel and made our way to Times Square. My heart was racing as I looked around at everyone. Smiles, rosy cheeks, cheering. I honestly felt amazing. And because Devin had found a beer to drink, his mood was lifted too. I really thought that Devin decided to get over his moodiness for a day that was so important to me. I was so naive. After a few hours, we were finally just minutes away from the ball dropping. Anna and her boyfriend gazed at each other with the eyes, and as I turned to Devin to do the same, he was looking at me too. But in his eyes, I didn't see love. Instead, I saw guilt. So I smiled, thinking that he was feeling bad for how he had treated me. And that's when the 10-second countdown started. But when it got to 3, he screamed, "Not Happy New Year. Not I love you. I cheated," at the top of his lungs. The people around us went silent, and 3 seconds later, as everyone shouted, "Happy New Year," and Frank Sinatra started to play, I just stood there in the middle of the confetti, my heart completely shattered. The people around me asked if I was okay, but I didn't even pay attention to them. I just made eye contact with Devin, who was smiling and telling me he was so glad to finally get it off his chest. It was the loneliest moment I had ever experienced. I even had to ask myself if I was dreaming, but I wasn't. I was just stuck in a relationship with Devin, and as he stood there with a "what is she gonna do next" look plastered on his face, I kissed him, and he kissed me back. I told him I forgave him, and thanked him for being so honest with me. But as his tongue was in my mouth, my mind was elsewhere, because this relationship now only served one purpose: my revenge. I couldn't tell you what I did to Devin in this short. The full video is on my channel and linked below. The next morning, I woke up first. Devin was snoring beside me, completely oblivious to the fact that everything had changed. I slipped out of bed and went to the bathroom, staring at myself in the mirror. My eyes were puffy from crying after we got back to the hotel, but Devin had been too drunk to notice. He'd actually fallen asleep thinking everything was fine between us, that his terrible confession was somehow behind us now. Anna texted to see if I wanted to grab breakfast. I hadn't